It was a rainy afternoon, and the city streets were slick with puddles. Cars honked impatiently, and umbrellas bobbed through the crowd like floating dots of color. Mark, a single dad juggling 2 jobs and school drop-offs, hurried along the sidewalk with his young son. His mind raced with bills, deadlines, and everything he felt he couldn't manage alone. Then he saw her, a woman in a wheelchair, struggling to cross the busy intersection. Cars sped by, ignoring her plight. Without thinking, Mark dashed across, bracing against the rain and guiding her safely to the sidewalk. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice calm but filled with gratitude. Mark smiled, brushing wet hair from his forehead. "No problem. Everyone deserves a safe day." She studied him for a moment, a thoughtful look in her eyes. Then, from her handbag, she pulled out a set of keys. I know this might sound strange," she said, "but I want you to have these. Please accept them." Mark froze. "Keys?" he asked, bewildered. She nodded, smiling. "It's my home. I want you to know that kindness matters, and I want to give back in my way." Rain dripped from his jacket as Mark stared at the keys in his hand, realizing this simple act of helping someone across the street had led to something he could never have imagined. Mark stood on the sidewalk, rain dripping from his jacket, staring at the keys in his hand. His mind raced. A mansion? Why would a stranger, a disabled woman he just helped, hand him keys to her home? I don't know what to say," Mark muttered, still holding the keys. She smiled warmly. "You don't have to say anything. Just promise me you'll use it wisely. Kindness changes lives, yours included." Before Mark could respond, she wheeled herself forward, nodding goodbye and disappearing into a nearby cab. That evening, Mark couldn't stop thinking about it. His son, Tommy, tugged at his sleeve. "Dad, can we see it?" Mark shook his head with a laugh. "I don't even know if we should, buddy." But curiosity gnawed at him. The next morning, he returned to the address written on the tag attached to the keys. The mansion was massive, perfectly maintained, gardens glowing with morning light, the kind of place Mark had only seen in magazines. He hesitated at the door, but something in the woman's words nudged him forward. He inserted the key, and the door swung open. Inside, it was immaculate, chandeliers, art, and furniture that felt like a dream. Yet it wasn't wealth that struck him, it was the note on the marble counter. "Mark, thank you for showing me humanity. May this help you and your son thrive. Grace." Mark sank into a chair, stunned. A simple act, helping someone across the street, had transformed his life in ways he never imagined. For the first time in months, he felt hope, real hope, for his family's future. Mark carefully walked through the grand halls of the mansion, his son Tommy skipping behind him in awe. Every corner sparkled with elegance. A crystal chandelier hung above, portraits of smiling families adorned the walls, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air. On a side table, he noticed a framed photo of a woman in a wheelchair surrounded by children, all laughing. A small plaque read, "Grace Hart, Advocate for the Differently Abled and Orphaned Children." Mark's curiosity grew. Why would someone like Grace, wealthy, accomplished, and clearly surrounded by staff, entrust their home to strangers she had just met? Then he found a journal on a polished desk. Flipping it open, he read Grace's words. "I lost faith in people years ago. My life changed when someone showed me kindness without expecting anything in return. I want to pay it forward. Whoever helps someone without seeking reward deserves a chance at life." Mark's chest tightened. The realization hit him like a lightning bolt. Her gift wasn't just about a mansion. It was about recognizing the value of simple, selfless acts, the very act Mark had done, helping her cross the street in the rain. Tommy tugged at his sleeve. "Dad, do you think we can help others too?" Mark smiled, tears threatening to fall. "Yes, buddy. That's exactly what Grace wants us to do." In that moment, Mark understood the true magnitude of kindness. It didn't come from wealth or power. It came from a willing heart, and the ripple effect could change lives in ways no one could ever imagine. The next morning, Mark woke up in one of the mansion's elegant bedrooms, sunlight streaming through the curtains. Tommy ran excitedly from room to room, imagining their new life. But Mark knew Grace's gift wasn't just about luxury. It was about opportunity and responsibility. He spent the day exploring the mansion's resources, a library filled with books, a computer lab, and a workshop full of tools for learning and creativity. He realized he could use this space to help other families struggling like his own. Within a week, Mark started inviting neighbors, single parents, and children from the local community. Classes were held, meals were shared, and laughter echoed through the halls where once there had only been silence. One afternoon, Grace returned. She wheeled herself into the grand living room, smiling warmly. "I wanted to see how my little experiment worked," she said. Mark stood, humbled. "It's more than I ever imagined, Grace. We're helping people, just like you wanted." She nodded. "Kindness is contagious, Mark. You proved that the smallest acts, like helping someone cross the street, can ripple into something far greater." Tommy hugged her gently. "Thank you for trusting us," he whispered. Grace smiled, eyes glistening. "No, thank you. You reminded me that humanity still exists." As the sun set over the mansion's gardens, Mark realized the truth. Life's greatest wealth isn't measured in dollars or possessions. It's measured in love, compassion, and the courage to make a difference. And from that day on, the mansion became more than a home. It became a beacon of hope, proving that one selfless act can change countless lives forever.